So you're a mom, which means you have kids. And you love your kids. And you love being a mom. And motherhood feels like a really good, comfortable identity for you because it's your life. And without identifying yourself as a mother, you're kind of going to be lost, right? Because you have the kids. You have the home and the marriage, potentially, but you at least have the kids and you're a mom. So defining yourself as a mom feels right. And yet, it's not making you happy. You love your kids, and seeing them happy makes you happy. Making them happy makes you happy. Being around them makes you happy. But underneath all of the everything that comes with the children, you're still not happy. And you feel like a bad mom. But you're not. You're not. You're not a bad mom. You just have a greater purpose than motherhood. And not that motherhood isn't the greatest. Motherhood is amazing. Motherhood is a sacred right. You are a creator. You're a goddess. You have made someone else or multiple someone else's. Motherhood is amazing. But it's not the end-all, be-all of life. You make a child, you raise a child, they become an adult, you're still their mom, but then what? Now you wait to become a grandmother? But who are you? Who are you when you're not being a mom because they've moved out now and they don't need you as much? Who are you when they're sleeping? Who are you when they're at school or at their friend's house? Or they're 13 and they're in their room listening to music on their headphones? Who are you? You're someone. You're not just a mom. You are a mom and that's amazing, but you're not just a mom. A few years ago, I got back together with my high school sweetheart. I already had 2 children, and I was ready to officially settle down after years of bouncing around the country, going back and forth from someone else's house to my mother's house, making decisions that felt like really good ones. And in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, I learned a lot from that, but I could have probably learned that from a book or from therapy. It's not how it happened. I had to learn these things from mistakes. Mistake relationships, mistake living situations, mistake jobs. But that's okay. I finally settled down. We bought a house. I got pregnant again. And I decided to just completely surrender to mom and wife life. Because I had never done that before, and I finally felt safe doing so. I felt like I had the right person to just get comfy with and just relax. And somehow that to me looked like waking up at 5:30 in the morning to make his breakfast and lunch, seeing him off to work, and then spending the whole time he was at work cleaning, homeschooling, changing diapers, the works, decorating the house, trying to stay sane, getting in naps when the baby napped, and then getting right up when he got home and making sure I took care of everything. Made sure his laundry was ready and folded for the next day. Made sure his dinner was available for him when he was hungry. I made sure that I was available for him when he was, in need of anything. Back rub, foot rub, just a hug, listening to, work stories. And at the end of the day, I realized I did not a single thing for myself. I didn't even go to the bathroom by myself at that point. You know how that is. And for a long time, I was able to do that. And by long time, I mean 2 years. So that's not really that long. But that's a long time for me to do something. I had not had that experience before. The only thing I had done consistently was be a mom. Other than that, 2 years was like, I was already gone from whatever I had committed to. So being this amazing housewife and struggling mother felt like an accomplishment. I was doing something. I was making people happy. I was fulfilling a role and doing a badass job at it. But I was not happy. I was going crazy. And it showed. It showed to no one. But I couldn't ignore it. I would get myself up off of wherever I was when I had this feeling that they were hungry, my husband or my kids. I had this feeling, a fear feeling. Oh no, they're hungry. I've got to get up and I've got to go make food. Or it's going to be too late and I'm going to regret it. Or it's going to be, to the point where they're like, why haven't you made me food yet? And then I'm going to be like, dealing with that conversation. And I would get up and just feel anger. And then I put that anger into their food. And I put it onto the plate and I served it to them. I made my husband food and I brought it to him with anger and resentment. And it took so long for me to realize that I was doing this. I was in denial that it was even happening for the longest time. And it took being really honest with myself, which was very hard after a lifetime of people pleasing and knowing that I would only be safe if I made sure everyone else was happy, and that I was only worth something if I was giving to other people. It took finding my north node. It took finding my north node in my birth chart and seeing that there was a reason, there was an end goal, there was a purpose, there was something that I was learning lessons for. And I was suffering intentionally to learn these lessons so that I would get to my north node. And when I realized this, I said to myself first, something has to change. If something doesn't change, who knows? I might leave. I might get divorced. I might kick him out. I might need to go stay with my mother again. I was like, it's either change or repeat the pattern again of getting into something, hating it, leaving. This time, I decided I was in it and I wanted it and I wasn't going to leave, so I'm going to do something about it. And I wasn't about to be like, you change, you change, you change. I looked at myself and I said, I need to change. And then I told my husband, I need to change. And he was like, okay, change. And I was like, you sure? You sure you're okay with that? He was okay with that because he wanted me to stay too. And he didn't want me to kick him out. And he wanted us to get better and better. And so this is when I realized that I was at my south node. That's when I saw the map and I saw the little spot that says, you are here. And I was like, okay. Folded up the map. That was me rolling it. Rolled up the map, stuck it in my pouch, and headed off on my really scary journey across my chart from my south node to my north node. And I see it like an actual fantasy journey, like Hobbit level, but mom bit. And it is not the typical hero's journey or heroine's journey, because it's not just me and my backpack. It's me and my backpack and 3 children holding my hands. And I only have 2 hands. So I guess it's 2 children, another one on my back with my backpack. It's a lot. And it is so much harder than if I had stopped at 19 years old, stayed on birth control, and decided, I'm going to heal all of my wounds before having children. No. You and I didn't do that. You and I were like, we need children in order to heal. There is no choosing a different route. Our souls, when designing this life for us, decided the children are necessary. Motherhood is a very, very, very essential step. So first, motherhood, then healing. And the children are coming along for the ride. So from my South Node, when I decided this, I grabbed my kids' hands and we started up the mountain together. And up that mountain, there were all sorts of things. And I'm going to make this a metaphor that includes mountains and planets. So stick with me. On this journey upwards, I had to look at Saturn and all of my karmic baggage, all the really yucky lessons I needed to learn. Saturn's got those. I looked at Mars and the way I have been making myself smaller instead of saying the truth. I've been looking at my moon that is just hiding. It was hiding for so long. I looked at Venus, who wanted love, but like not too much, but more than that, but not that much. And then I had to look at, Pluto. You can't not look at Pluto. And realize that it all came down to insecurity. And that I wasn't feeling secure in my relationship with myself. So how would I feel secure in any other aspect of my life? And then, just keep pinballing around your chart as you're going up this mountain. There will be cliffs, though, that you must, the word for being on a cliff and not having much room to walk, that word. There will be so many things. And it is much easier, I must say, with help. Somebody who already has done it and who knows what you're going to face when you get to each planet or each, cliff face or each new rock wall to climb with your children strapped to you. And then you get to the top and you think, figured myself out. I got it. I did it. I got there. I know myself now. I know myself because I did it. I did my chart. I got it. But once you're at the top and you see the whole landscape of yourself and you're like, hallelujah, this is me. I see me. Then you realize over there's another mountain peak. And you can see it's not just about who you are. And that mountain peak is who you are supposed to become. And you're like, wait, what? I thought I got it. I thought I figured it out. But no, that's the beginning. And that other mountain peak is who you are becoming. It is your purpose. It is your destiny in this life. It is what you came to accomplish before you move on to the next life. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can see it now. And it all makes sense. The entire landscape of who I am makes perfect sense now. And now that I've got it all, I have every tool I need to cross this giant valley and climb that other mountain. to get up to my north node. And then you look down into the valley. And you thought that getting up this mountain was rough. But in this valley, you can see all of the struggles now. You can see all of your issues. Because you already figured out who you are, right? And now you can see all the things you're going to have to deal with. And it's very scary. So your north node is your uncomfort zone. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not something you want to do. When you're at your south node, or you've already even looked at most of your chart, you look at your north node and you're like, I can't do that. Not a chance. Nope. I wasn't raised for it. I have no training. It is not my specialty. I'm going to say where I am because this is much more comfortable. But once you see it, there's no unseeing it. You can't go back down the mountain the way you came. There is only way. There is only one way from here. The only way is down the other side, across the valley, and up. And you'll know it. You'll know it when you see it. And you won't be able to stop. But you'll have everything you need. And your kids will be a little older, a little stronger, a little more resistant and resilient. And they'll see you better. And you'll be able to explain to them with much, much more ease what's going on. And that they're along for the ride. And that you appreciate them. And you're so glad you had them. And the journey will be worth it. And I'm so excited for you. And that brings me to the end of my story and the beginning of the description of everything I've created for you. When I realized that I had figured out how to find my purpose in my chart and go through the most profound spiritual awakening. I've done different layers of awakening spiritually. This trumped all of them. This was the one. I am now fundamentally happy. Things happen and I'm like, happiness is still the baseline. And it's not something I've been able to accomplish in any other spiritual discipline. Evolutionary astrology was my ticket to happiness. So what I created is the gift I cannot keep to myself. And it is not something you can find in a book unless you are willing to do years of reading and soul searching and different levels of spiritual awakening by yourself. The program I've created is a shortcut. It is as if you get to the top of the mountain and are given a paraglider. I think that's what it's called. You can grab on and you just go across to your north node. But along the way up the mountain, I will be your tour guide. I will be like, watch your step, grab onto that, here's a rope, hold my hand, let's go, you got this. And then hand you that paraglider and say, see you on the other side. Okay, so the program. If you go to motherevolving.org, you will be able to look through my program options. Right now, I have the main program, which is the Master Accelerator. It is a 6-month course where you get like 20 hours of one-on-one coaching with me amongst many, many other perks. And then there's the quick, sort of like a taster that is 6 weeks instead of 6 months. And it is, like I said, a taste test. you testing the waters, checking me out, checking yourself out, and seeing the potential, which is insane. The amount of potential you have is endless, infinite. Check out motherevolving.org. You can read about me, you can read about my offerings, and you can register for a free consultation call where you and I can chat like this, and we can see what I might be able to do to help you get up and across to your North Node from where you are right now at your South Node. I am so excited for this in any way it manifests. Thank you so much for watching. This has been really fun.